it's Anna here. Welcome back to my channel. So this is video 2 of my inner work video series. And we will be talking about the power of reflection and self-awareness. And these are the topics that I've got scheduled for the next few weeks. But if there are any specific topics that you are particularly interested in, please let me know in the comments, as I'd love to incorporate that as well. Before we dive into today's topic, I wanted to make something very clear. That the first step to doing any inner work or healing is to take radical responsibility for our life and to become really honest with ourselves and to realize that we often play a role in our own suffering. So I really wanted to make that clear because I think it's important as we go into this series that you make an intention to become really radically responsible and honest with yourself. And even saying out loud, I am ready to heal. So let's start with self-awareness. And at its core, that's the whole point of inner work, right? To actually understand ourselves and to come to a place where we understand ourselves so well that nothing and no one can really affect us. So I wanted to share with you that I've actually been quite self-aware my entire life. And I was reflecting on this whilst doing this video because I know that some friends and people I used to work with have always commented on the fact that I was quite self-aware. So I was thinking about why and what I've done to come to that place. And basically, it's not that I'm smarter than anyone, absolutely not. But I've been using tools to help me understand myself better throughout my life. And these tools are understanding astrology. So I've been, looking into my natal chart. And I've also been fascinated by psychology, and I've done a lot of personality tests, understanding my life path number, you name it, I've done it. And I remember actually having friends making fun of this, saying that, why do you believe in astrology? I mean, we are all unique. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Astrology, your natal chart won't give you everything. But if you use it as a tool, it will really help you because you will learn about yourself and you will be able to feel into what resonates and what doesn't resonate. So you will be able to go deeper in understanding yourself. And the problem is, in today's society, in the current world that we live in, everything is actually set up to move us away from ourselves. There's just so much happening everywhere. There's an overload of information, of sounds, of lights, of everything. Our senses are on overload all the time. And we are constantly looking after people and, thinking about other people and trying to, improve our relationship with other people. So we are constantly having to understand what's around us and external to us. And it's actually moving us away from understanding ourselves. And, as you become more self-aware, you will realize that sometimes life, because it's a society we live in, it will pull you back out of yourself. And it's a practice. You constantly need to come back to who you are. And I feel like when you read things like astrology or personality test or, whatever appeals to you more, it really helps you find that inner understanding and confidence. And self-awareness, is about understanding the good qualities that you have about yourself and also, your limitations. So for example, for me, I know I'm very aware that I'm quite impatient and probably more stubborn than other people. And it's something that I've had to work on very actively. And if I was not aware of it, then I wouldn't have made the intentions or the conscious choice to actually actively work on it. So it's, when you become more self-aware and you focus on understanding yourself, it really empowers you. It really empowers you to become the person you want to be. And it really empowers you and also clarifies your values as well, what's important to you. So to make this very practical, I actually wanted to recommend an app that I've been using, and it's actually a free app. So I will put it on the screen now so you can see what it looks like, but it's called The Pattern, and it's based on astrology, so you will need your date of birth and your time of birth. Actually, time of birth it's important. It's not everything if you can't have it, but if you have the time of birth, it will make it even more accurate. But I'm challenging you today, even if you're a bit skeptical, to actually download this and read about yourself, because it's uncannily accurate. And of course, it's to be taken with a grain of salt. On my own profile, I don't agree with everything, but as you read it, you will feel into what resonates and what doesn't resonate anyway. And on that app as well, there is a section called Your Timing. And this is so great as well, because it's explaining to you what lessons you are currently working on. And it's been so accurate for me. So again, to be taken with a grain of salt, but give it a try. And it's actually crazy because often we actually know other people better than we know ourselves. I know that I know my kids so well, and I know some of my friends. I've always been an observer of people because I'm so fascinated by people's behavior and psychology. But really the most important person we should become, an expert on is ourselves. So this is why I think self-awareness is the first step in doing the inner work. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about today is the power of reflection. And it's interesting because I've been working in the corporate world for 10 years, and there has been so many studies that show that it improves employee performance. And it makes so much sense, because if you reflect on what's going well, what's not going well, and if you reflect on yourself and what's happening in your life at the end of each day, it actually gives you clarity. And it's fascinating that it's something that's so well understood and researched in the corporate world, but it's not something we do enough in our own life. And I mean, it's normal that we don't do that. It's because we're so busy, and we look after, especially as parents, we look after so many people. I've got 3 kids. Trust me, I really understand that. But it's so important. And the reason for this is that when we are so busy and we do everything and we run on autopilot, we don't really know what we're doing. We're just winging it. We're just doing day by day, just following the same routine, driving from one activity to another, just feeding the kids, groceries. We don't really spend the time to reflect on our behaviors, the repeated conflicts that keep reoccurring with our partner, for example, or with our kids. And it means that we really lack clarity and guidance. We are so focused on the detail of everyday life that we don't take that time to zoom out and reflect on what's happening. So this is what reflecting does. And I started doing that as part of my evening routine. I started, a journal basically, and what I was doing was not really journaling in the sense that a lot of people do. It was more really reflecting about my day. So I used to spend time in the evening meditating first, and then journaling about my day, what happened in the day, but also what conflict happened, how it made me feel, what I could gather from the interaction, what lessons I could extract from it. Because that's the thing, right? Like when we spend our life not reflecting and just going on autopilot day by day, it's very difficult to extract lessons from what's happening around us. And when you start a reflecting practice, this reflection exercise every day, you will be able to actually see a pattern that everything that's happening in your life is actually trying to teach you something. And this is why it's often the same patterns that repeat themselves. It's because you haven't understood what the lesson is, and it's trying to get your attention. So starting this reflection practice will really help you start extracting lessons from what's happening and slowly shift things in your favor. And for me, this was so much more powerful than doing simply a gratitude practice. And of course, the gratitude practice should and could be part of the reflection. Like I would be reflecting on my day, and I would actually also reflect on what's gone well, right? What I'm happy about. But when you reflect on what's happening, it forces you to be real with yourself and real about the current dynamics and real about where you as a person are contributing to the problem, where other people are contributing to the problem, and you start seeing patterns and you start being able to see solutions or see where particular aspects of yourself need to be healed. So I've gathered some questions that I thought would be helpful for you to start with. At the end of each day, thinking about what's actually going well and why. How have I contributed to it or make it happen, and what can I learn from this? And by the same token, what's not going so well, and where am I contributing to this? What can I learn from this? What solutions can I think about? Do I need to improve my communication? Do we need to have an in-depth discussion with my partner? Do I need to have a family meeting with the kids? And overall, really start reflecting on themes in your life. When you start doing this after a week or two, start seeing the patterns. What keeps coming back? What feelings keep coming back? And we will be doing another video about the importance of using emotions as a guidance system soon, so I will dive deeper into that. But really reflecting on everything, not only the dynamics, but what's being triggered in you, what emotions are being triggered, what recurring attitude or mindset you bring to the table, and in terms of themes as well, what patterns of behaviors do the people around you have? Are you surrounded by people who empower you and want the best for you? Or are you surrounded by people who keep bringing you down? Start really being real about everything that's happening in your life. All right, so that's what I had for you today, the importance of self-awareness and reflection. And I've made it very practical for you on purpose, and I really hope it helps. All right, see you next time.